Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are Max Prep Sacramento, powered by SMUD.
We got a lot of basketball. How good is the Sacramento region of high school girls and boys basketball? We're going to show you some clips, talk about some players, some teams, the leagues. Stick around.
Welcome back for another edition of Max Prep Sacramento, powered by SMUD. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee. And this show, this week, it's a bonus show. It's our Max Prep Sacramento, powered by SMUD basketball preview, boys, girls, teams to watch for, players to watch for, who we think might win a section championship. We want to kind of fill your head with knowledge for what you could expect for this basketball season.
In short, this is a great region for high school basketball. It's an up year, I think, particularly for the boys. We got all kinds of scholarship players. We've got dynamite teams in different divisions. And a reminder, the Sac Joaquin section, the Northern California, and the CIF state championships will be at Sleep Train Arena, as Sleep Train is literally put to bed. It'll be the last year for that. What happens next year in a new arena, Golden One Center downtown, we don't know. The CIF doesn't know. But this will be a great year to bow out for Sacramento basketball in an old arena. For the last 25 years, it's had a lot of powerhouse programs.
Yeah, it has. Well, we're going to get right to it. We have a lot to cover, Joe. We're going to start with the girls. Girls first, boys second half of the show. We want to kind of go over, first off, we're going to go over the teams that we think are section championship contenders. And I'll take the first one. We'll go with the defending state champion, McClatchy Lions. They're without Gigi Garcia this year. Injury. Too bad we'll miss her. What a talent. But they have Jordan Cruz. They have Kelsey Wong. And they've got a great coach, Joe. This is a team that, despite the loss of Gigi, they're going to be good.
Yeah, Jessica Kunasaki was our Sacramento Bee Coach of the Year last year. Went to school there, played there, learned how to coach under Harvey Tahara, who's one of the greatest coaches in this region, regardless of sport. Big loss with Gigi Garcia. She was the Sacramento Bee Player of the Year last year. She's going to Washington on a scholarship. You can recover from a blown knee. Her spirit's a little down. I mean, she certainly wants to play, but some good talent there. Another powerhouse contender is in the same league, in the Metropolitan Conference. The Sacramento Dragons have won section championships before. It wasn't a great year last year. It just was an off fit. Coach Michelle Massari really likes her team. She has told both of us it could be her most talented team, top to bottom, that she's ever had. And when you talk Dragons, you're talking skill and shooting in Alicia Hernandez.
Oh, she's good, Joe. And we saw her freshman year. She's inserted right into the lineup. She's going to UC Santa Barbara. She does it all. And oh, by the way, she's a great student, over a 4.0 GPA. Only 3 seniors on that team, Joe. They're all captains, but as Coach Massari said to us a couple weeks back, this is her best team. In her opinion, it's her best team, top to bottom, that she's ever had. That's saying something.
Yeah, and Antelope is a newer school. It's not even 10 years old, but it has an old school coach, and Sean Chambers. He was a fabulous player for Highlands High School in the 1980s, an above-the-rim player. He can't get above the rim now unless he's taking the net down. And he has 2 sisters. The Johnson sisters, who are prolific, they're experienced, they're very good. I think
Nadia and Nia.
There you go. Yeah. And guard heavy, very talented, 27-3 last year, and they weren't satisfied. They want to win a section championship and win NorCals and maybe even more.
And now Angelica Braylon add to that mix, another talented. Joe, they return everyone. So they're clearly a top 3, top 4 team, and they're going to have another year of experience under their belt. Who else we got? We got plenty of teams in the top.
And Folsom is a powerhouse in the boys and a rising power for the girls, but injuries are slowing things down a little bit out of the gates here. There's one player in particular, 6-foot player with all the skills in the world. You know her. What's her name? What'd she do?
Mackenzie Forbes. So she is my Magic Johnson of girls high school basketball for the year. She is going to be, I think she's a sophomore. When she's all said and done, I think she'd be the best player ever to come out of this area. But she is joined by her pal, former Vista Lago player, Sydney LaRocca. She's already averaging 20 points a game. This girl's talented. She's just a junior. I like the Bulldogs. That's a team that's going to, they're slow start, but injuries can do that, but they're going to be a team.
Another team that really stormed on strong last season, got into the section finals, was Rio Linda. There is a terrific player there. You liked her last year. What's her name? What'd she do?
Brandy Huffines, coach's daughter, great point guard. Michaela Sanders. Joe, this girl is talented. They have some young, good talent on that team, and we saw how good they were last year. Now take all those players, bring them back. They're going to be good.
Yes. Oak Ridge up in El Dorado Hills, CIF state champions in 2010. They're all gone now. You can't be a seventh-year player, but Coach Steve White is back. Terrific coach, terrific results, powerhouse program, always a factor. They graduate the house, but they're always a factor. The Trojans just do it right. Fundamentals, youth program, never had a transfer come in. So, you can win without transfers.
Well, they had a lot of players leave. There's no doubt about it. One thing we talk about with the Trojans, they reload. They have good young, talented players. You know that no matter how they start off, they're going to be one of the best teams there, and I expect that again this year.
When we come back, more girls basketball, and then later boys basketball, top players, top teams, top leagues, commentary, video highlights. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
All right, we're back bringing you the best of high school sports in Northern California. Strong emphasis right here in Sacramento. We are Max Prep Sacramento, brought to you by our good friends from SMUD. Basketball is here. It's good time of season. Girls teams, boys teams, so good. Later in the show, a lot of boys breakdown. We just talked about some of the best girls teams. Let's go over the leagues, and I'll fire off a league, and you tell me a couple teams and a couple players.
Well, I'm gonna go the glasses, Joe. We got to do
That's all right.
that.
It gives you a scholarly look.
We can't read anymore.
And it's just glass. It's just a look. If you ever see it without lenses, then you're on to it. All right, Capital Valley League.
Well, I like Capital Valley League. Well, we talked about Antelope already, so we know that they should be the team going in to win it all. But one thing about this league, there's so much depth. You got Ponderosa with Danielle Kraft, who's a terrific player. I don't want to leave any teams out. Roseville with Shelby McKay. She's a junior now. She's their best player. Of course, Cosumnes Oaks, a good young team. Antelope, your favorite, but any one of those teams is going to be competing for second place.
Capital Athletic League, girls basketball, Sacramento.
Well, Christian Brothers is your powerhouse in this league every year. I expect that. I don't expect them to be a power this year, but they have good young talent. Kalani, Mark, Sammy Early, both keys to last year's team. Watch out for Christian Brothers.
Kira McKechnie was an all-metro player, now playing softball at Fresno State on scholarship. Big player to lose, but Ron Gully's got a big-time program. All right, so the Delta League.
Well, the Delta League, we looked at this league, and this is kind of a league where you look at there and you see St. Francis, Pleasant Grove, Monterey Trail, Elk Grove. There's no powerhouse in this league this year. Sheldon's in the mix. I think what you might see is a congested standings this year.
And St. Francis has got a lot of experience. Terrific coach, Vic Pitton. Already some early good wins there. Another team I'm going to throw is the Franklin Wildcats, coached by a guy we know well, Mike Johnson, the longtime football coach for Franklin, is now the girls basketball coach. Saw them earlier this season. He just is a special coach, and the kids play for him. He's got some young talent. He said, we might be pretty good. They're already in a Power Pack league. Pleasant Grove has won a NorCal championship, has been deep in the NorCals. St. Francis won a state championship in years past, so this is a Power Pack league.
And if you're thinking about Davis, who was probably the premier team in that league last year, they lost their top three players. So they'll be a different looking team, but I expect them to be competitive under Heather Heishu. She's a great coach.
It might be the best league top to bottom in the area.
It'll be the most competitive,
yes,
for sure. All right, Joe, how about the Golden Empire? Capital Christian got a section championship last year. Lots of depth there. Marysville, West Campus, and Dixon won the league. I think we'll have to see that play out to really know for sure, but I expect West Campus and Dixon to be right there again.
Yeah, and Suzanne Baker is one of the classy people and the great coaches in all of Sac Joaquin section. She's with Capital Christian. She just gets it. And when they've gone to the section finals at Sleep Train Arena and lost, she said, hey, we're here. It's a great experience. It's okay. And then when she wins it, she says, hey, we're here. We won it. It's really a great experience. So she gets it, and it's nice to win. But she understands that you're not going to win it every time.
Yeah, good message by her, by the way. We're going to go to the Metro. We talked already about Sacramento and McClatchy. Some people may say, what about Kennedy? Well, they had an off year last year. We'll have to see how that team looks this year. But the powerhouse is not just in the area, but in that league are Sacramento, McClatchy, and they're gonna have a great year.
And Kennedy has a terrific coach, and we've said this many times. You get a great high school coach, you've got a real shot. Dave Parsh, he won a state championship in the 1990s with St. Francis, and he's had some really good playoff teams with Kennedy. He says should be much better this year.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, it's a great tradition there at that school.
And if they don't do better, we'll take them to task right here in this very program.
Oh, absolutely. All right, let's move up the hill, up 50 to the Pioneer Valley League. I say up 50 because the team that I would think would win that league this year is Placer under Bailey Vanderdoes, a player that we know well. She's strong. She can play inside, outside. Her brother, we know all about him, plays at UCLA football. Placer, probably your favorite, I think.
Yeah, and Bailey is from a long family of great athletes that went to Placer. You talk about homegrown to the core. She's going to San Diego State. She's strong, skilled, like you said. I think she's a better athlete than Eddie Vanderdoes. She could certainly run circles around him because Big Eddie's got a knee problem.
Well, you say that now because Eddie's not standing there. But, hey, teams to watch from the Pioneer Valley League. Lincoln, they've got a good young team. Cassandra Pissick, great scorer for them. And Colfax, they've always been around, but I expect Colfax to be competitive this year as well.
The one program, the program that won the first state championship for girls or boys in this region, Colfax, 83-84, powerhouse from years ago. Enrollments dropped, but still a power.
How do you remember this stuff?
Who knows? Who's to say I'm not making it up?
Yeah, it's true. All right, we talked about some teams in the Sierra Foothill League already. Folsom, Oak Ridge. Don't want to leave anyone out. Watch out for Granite Bay. I like Deja Black, terrific guard for them. I've seen her the last couple years. She's really skilled. But really, your teams right there are Oak Ridge and Folsom.
And Rockland's a factor, as you know. It's just a culture of success within that school, and for everything.
Yep.
Volleyball in the spring, basketball too. Basketball's looking for a breakthrough for Rockland.
Yep, all right. Sierra Valley Conference, we move on to that league. I think the team to watch there is Rosemont. You have Irene Colavaro, just a terrific player. You and I saw her last year. She can do it all.
She's a dazzling, dominating player, needs more of her teammates to step up, but they're looking for a league championship, which would be, real progress for a relatively new school.
And they're going to get competition from El Dorado. They bring most of their players back. And Cordova, they've had a good young team, so watch out for Cordova there. Last league we'll go over, and we talked about a few of these teams already, the Tri-County, Rio Linda, and Intercom. They battled out last year, duked it out for the league title. They're just as good. Both teams basically bring everyone back, so it's going to be a fun league to watch.
We were so impressed with Huff Hines, the coach, Huff Hines, the daughter, when they were playing at Sleep Train Arena, and the grit and the pride, and then they're all coming back. So now they're getting greedy. Now they really want to win more games.
Well, I know he wants them to. He senses it could be their year again. All right, Joe, halfway through the show, that's kind of your girls basketball preview. We talked about teams to watch for in each league, the teams that we think are the best heading in, that maybe have section championship aspirations, top players. So that is your girls preview. Coming up next, after the break, we're going to go over the boys. Same thing, top teams, top players.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are Max Prep Sacramento. Big emphasis right here in Sacramento in the Sac Joaquin section, breaking down girls and boys basketball, who to look for, why, what it matters, what it means, and boys basketball, I think, is going to have a big up year, and it starts with some of our heavies.
Yeah, boy, there's a lot of heavies this year, and you think about heavies, you think about Folsom, Sac High, these teams, and yes, they're heavies once again. Probably we're going to start off with Folsom, I would think. The best team,
Sheldon,
best player.
And Capital Christian.
And we'll talk
so
about
many.
all
Wood
this.
Creek, yes, there's so many. Yes.
Well, let's start off with Folsom. It starts with Jordan Ford. You talk about Jared Wall, the terrific guard for them, also senior, son of Mike Wall. But there's a center on that team that they had to replace Colin Russell, Mason Forbes.
And he's got the big hair. He's got the big upside. He's an underclassman, and already this season he's played huge games against NorCal #1 preseason. Modesto Christian, he had 2 late free throws to win that game. A week later, Folsom took on Sheldon, another area powerhouse, and Forbes had 13 of his 15 in the fourth quarter. Wow, this kid has come to play. He's worked hard. He's got a great basketball family. Mackenzie Forbes is his sister on the girls' team for Folsom. She could probably play on the boys' team. I think she'd like to go in there and rebound and box out. When you talk about Folsom, the guards are terrific. Trey French, Alec Andrews, Jared Wall, son of Coach Mike Wall, as you mentioned, and Jordan Ford, 2-time Sacramento Bee Player of the Year, who's off to a terrific start. So smooth, so good. This is a team that could win a state championship. they're that loaded.
Yep. Let's talk about another team, the Sakai Dragons. When you think of Sakai, they have Solomon Young, the big man. He can do it all. He can go inside. He can go outside. Christian Terrell. Those are your two stars of the team. Longtime head coach Derek Swafford back for another year. He likes this team. You and I caught up with him. He feels good about their chances.
He's always looking for a section or NorCal State Championship. They play such an ambitious, tough schedule early. Solomon Young gives them grit, effort, toughness. He can run the floor. He's skilled. Christian Terrell can take over games as a point guard, as a shooting guard, a defender, 6'4", both experienced. They want to finish strong, and Swafford's one of the great coaches. And all right, let's jump over to Sheldon, longtime powerhouse, won multiple section championships, have been to the state finals. Joey Rawlings, one of the longtime good coaches, really likes his team. They bring their top 7 players back. Some of the best point guard play I've ever seen in my 30 years doing this at Sacramento Bee is on Sheldon. Elijah Dupleshaw, Isaiah Brooks, Devin Green, and then they have a baseball guy who's a pretty darn good basketball player. Might be the best athlete this winter.
Yeah, Matt Manning. He's going to Loyola Marymount to play baseball, but he is a basketball guy. He can shoot the lights out of that ball. His dad was a big man in the NBA and in college, but Matt Manning, he can go inside, but he really is a deadly shooter.
And he could play above the rim. He could run the floor. He's fundamentally sound. His dad, the old man, is Rich Manning, was the Sacramento Bee Player of the Year in 1988. We just aged you, Rich, played several years in the NBA, and he's on the coaching bench for Sheldon. One proud pop.
Yes, he is. All right, Joe. Perhaps the best player in the whole area could be Jordan Brown of Wood Creek. And of course, he's just a sophomore. He came on the scene last year and just exploded. This kid is incredibly talented. No matter what the talent they're going to have with the Timberwolves this year, he's going to carry that team, and they're automatically going to be a top team.
Yeah, 6'10", and he can handle the ball. He could pass from the high post. He could play above the rim. He could run the floor. Paul Hayes is a terrific coach. Went to the NorCal Division I finals last season. In a semifinal, they beat De La Salle, nationally renowned De La Salle in Concord. So this is a program that's on the rise. There was so much speculation that, Jordan Brown's going to go to this school, he's going to go to that school, he's going to go to the East Coast. No, he's going to stay home. Good for him.
And he's without Noah Blackwell this year. Noah graduated. He's at Long Beach State. So this team is really going to be on his back. A couple more teams to mention. One more team to mention, Capital Christian, area power every year. Coach's son is now a senior, Tegan Jones. This is just a good team every year, small school power.
Yeah, and went to the state finals last season in Division IV, but the year before they were the top area team for the Sacramento Bee as an open division team, so they could go up and down. Some transfers, they got some size, they got some skill. Devon Jones, Sacramento Bee Coach of the Year last year. He's the father of Tegan Jones, who's going to Fresno State for baseball. All right, when we come back, more high school basketball boys, the best teams, the best leagues, what to look for.
Best players. Yep.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are Max Prep Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. High school basketball is here. We talked about the girls earlier. We just broke down the top boys teams. Now let's go real quick around the region, some of the top leagues and top players. I'll throw to you, but let's go to the Capital Athletic League. Who do you like, and who are a couple players?
Well, I like two teams, and these are teams that had good years last year. Rio Americano, Matt Lyons. We liked him. We saw him last year.
Gritty,
this kid's got
tough, skilled, takes things personal. It means a lot to him. Terrific player.
And he had a brother that was a good player there as well. Then you've got Christian brothers with, again, they've just playing well. Elias King, he's a sophomore now. He was impressing us last year.
Yeah, he's long, lanky, skilled. His father, Chris King, was an all-metro standout for the Sacramento Bee years ago, just aged him there. His older brother, just a great family. A lot of basketball there. Christian Brothers is a rising team.
All right, let's go to the Capital Valley League. Antelope, one of the best players in that league is Kai Teese. So impressive. We really got to see him shine last year. And we like Antelope. They're always a contender. And then some other teams in this league, I think it's more of a league where it's up for grabs. It's kind of like that league we mentioned, the girls' side. Because you have Cosumnes Oaks, Whitney, Del Campo. These are teams that might be a little bit down. Cosumnes Oaks lost a lot of players. So this is what I call a toss-up league.
Yeah, and Antelope should be the favorite.
Yeah.
You got the best rooting section in that league. In what are they called? It's the red something. Just go out there and
Sea
appreciate
Red.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Sea. They are a Sea Red. The Titans. They're probably yelling at us right now. But great, spirit and everything right there. And then Rob Richards is a championship coach. He's won it before.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Delta League, Joe. Had a chance to look at this league, and obviously Sheldon is the team that you would expect to win the league title. But Jesuit, good team. Malik Duffy, talented big man. We saw him. He could shoot a three. He can go inside.
And the new coach, John Rotz, who's a longtime assistant coach to Greg Harkos, who's now the athletic director. John was a key player years ago for Jesuit, so he understands the culture there. But Sheldon, I talked to a couple coaches last week, and a couple of the coaches said Sheldon may go 14-0 in the Delta League. They got those great guards, great depth, great coaching, great tradition. But there's so many other good teams. Franklin with Ken Manfredi's the new coach there. He used to be at Monterey Trail. Monterey Trail's still good. Davis has 5 starters back. Got some toughness, and they got Ryan Kreidler playing out there in Glenwald. So that's a terrific league top to bottom.
Yeah, and Franklin and Pleasant Grove, especially Franklin, they lost their top 4 scores there. Pleasant Grove lost Marquise Chris. They lost a lot of guys, Tate. So these are teams that will have a new identity this year, but Sheldon is hands down the best team in that league. Golden Empire League, we talked a lot about Capital Christian, so don't want to reiterate too much there. We're going to go to the Metro. Again, we talked about Sac High, but a team to watch for Burbank, Joe. They bring back a lot of young guys.
Lindsey Farrell, one of the great coaches, a lot of speed, size, athleticism for the Burbank Titans. Same thing for the Kennedy Cougars, longtime rivals of Burbank. Kennedy lost Austin Alexander to a transfer to Capital Christian. I don't understand that sometimes, but Robert Fong is a terrific coach over at Kennedy, and guard heavy, talented. His son's on the team. Cole Tierra is back as well. Fun league, very fun league, and it's Sacramento will be challenged.
Yes, they will. Let's move to the Pioneer Valley League, Joe. And last year, Placer was impressive, as was Foothill. But this year, everyone's expecting Placer to be impressive again. This should be their league to win. They bring back Derek Haney, who is a really good player, also a good football player, by the way, and Jeremy Lewis. Mark Lee, longtime head coach there. He's got to be excited about this team.
He is excited, and Drew Hibbs is encouraged with his team at Foothill. Drew Hibbs, the only area coach to win 2 CIF state championships, did it both times with Foothill, and said, there's some good talent here. Vernon, the quarterback, is now playing basketball. He's a 2-sport star there. So Foothill Mustangs and probably Placer are the 2 leading candidates.
Yep. What do you say? We go to the Sierra Foothill League. Lots of teams to cover.
Let's do
it. All right. We talked about Folsom at length. We've talked about Wood Creek. Let's talk a little bit about 2 other teams that you're going to expect to be competitive. I don't see them in the top 2. I don't see anyone surpassing Folsom and Wood Creek unless things happen. But let's talk about Granite Bay. Darren Nelson, big man. I think he's 6'7", 6'8". I haven't seen him about a year. He's probably
might be
grown
7
since
foot
then.
by now. Who knows?
But you have a big man. You can dominate.
You can, and he's a skilled big man. He could pass. He could bang inside. He's got a jumper. He can run the floor. Also a terrific baseball player, so we appreciate multi-sport guys. Oak Ridge up in Eldorado Hills.
Before we leave Grand Bay, Charlie Tooley.
Yes.
Terrific guard. He kind of leads that whole thing. Great shooter. So you got the guy in the backcourt, you got the big man.
Yes.
They could pull off some big wins.
Oak Ridge has good guard play and good interior play and good coaching and really good tradition too. Won a state championship years ago with Ryan Anderson, who's now in the NBA with New Orleans. So a lot of good teams. But you're right, Folsom or Wood Creek and Folsom are your title contenders.
And one more thing on Oak Ridge, playmaker Tyus Mahone, I believe is a senior now. We saw him do a lot of great things last year.
He's very impressive. Tyus is the son of 2 coaches. His parents, longtime coaches, so he understands the culture, knows how to play defense. His dad was big on defense. Parents are so proud watching me. It's always fun to look up there and sometimes they watch games like this, but they're proud of their kid. Tyus is a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player. Well, that's a tough league.
Yes.
All right, Joe, Sierra Valley Conference. This is an interesting league because we were really impressed with Cordova and Liberty Ranch. They had superstars on their team last year. Both guys have graduated, so you're looking at really a league that's kind of in toss-up mode.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm so impressed. You're impressed with the Liberty Ranch coach, Josh Williams. He was our Character Combine Coach of the Year because of all the right things that he does, and playing athletes who are ill otherwise with Crohn's disease, but letting them play to kind of boost his spirit. So when you have a coach like that, you have possibilities.
I agree. All right, Joe, last conference here, Tri-County. Got to go to the glasses here to read this stuff, but Intercom, River City, River Valley, more of a toss-up league, I think. We'll see how. There's no dominant team in this league unless things change, but I expect that to be another congested standings.
I agree. And one team we forgot to mention in the Delta League is the Grant Pacers. Denard Wilson, one of the good guys, good coaches, a lot of talent there. Another team to add to that super deep Delta League. There were so many double overtime games, buzzer beaters last year. We'll see a lot of that. We think it's a big up year in basketball.
I agree. Well, if we're going to kind of look ahead and say who could be your all-Metro, who could be your Metro MVPs, I think looking ahead, if Sackeye has the year you expect, you'd think Alicia Hernandez could be a leading candidate, and maybe for Folsom, if they end up going really deep, Mackenzie Forbes.
Antelope has got guards galore.
They have no dominant player though, but we'll see.
We'll see how things. And then for the boys, for Folsom, 2-time B Player of the Year is Jordan Ford, the guard. He's back. Sheldon's got all kinds of talent. Jordan Brown, 6'10", with all kinds of skills for Wood Creek. He's a possibility. Sac High has 2 players of note. And Christian Terrell, a 4-year starting guard, and Solomon Young, who plays so hard, plays with such vigor and aggressiveness. He's a terrific player. He's the kind of guy you don't want to have to practice against, and you don't want to have to play against because he'll just wear you out. So an all-Metro team is going to be hard to pick. An all-Metro player of the year is going to be really hard. I may just have to defer to you and send all the angry emails this way.
Yeah, right. All right, Joe. Well, it's December. It's tournament time. We know all about that. So we're going to be excited when league play actually gets underway. We have holidays coming up and all that. But, Joe, a fun show. Hoops. I just can't wait to kind of get the real season going. Any final thoughts as we look ahead to basketball?
And league play gets underway after the holidays in January. Some teams have football guys trying to get into shape in basketball. There's no more Sac Joaquin section power rankings, which help determine the playoff seed. So you could see a lot more teams scheduling against each other. We saw Folsom take on Sheldon in an early season game. Terrific game, right down to the wire. Folsom won by a point. Those two teams played last year in the Sac Joaquin section Division I finals. Folsom won by a point. We might see those 2 teams play again in the Sac Joaquin section Division I finals, and Sheldon's saying we'll get them by a point. So I think it's going to be a terrific year for basketball. All kinds of coverage on SacB.com, our weekly show here, and our good friends, our media partners, Max Preps in general. Max Preps covers it nationwide, statewide.
Well, hopefully you filled your head with hoops knowledge as we get this season going. Folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.